I'm going to start this again. This video is not designed for children, not designed for kids. That's my disclaimer. I need to do that. It's designed for people that want to know the truth. I'm at the Russell R. Burgess Coastal Preserve right here. The tide's coming in for about another 45 minutes or so. I've got a P1000 recording going on as well. I'll compare the cinematography. I'm zoomed in on a cormorant or a loon. I'm not sure which that is exactly. Can't see them when they go under the water. He'll be coming up in a little bit. One of his buddies there. So my liked video playlist is, I want it to be a catalyst for your consideration. What is the truth? How will you know it when it's right in front of you? Will you be able to see it? I've gone out of my way into great expense to present the truth at the risk of my life. The reason why I do that, I'm not hiding. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. As is many of the people that are featured on my channel. Some of them have already transitioned. Zoomed in on the boat out of water coming our way. Kind of interesting. A lot of times a fish out of water is on the way to the dinner table. It's just kind of the way it actually is. It's the reality of the world we live in. An equal distribution of resources. Well, some may call that communism. The selecting and creating where manufacturing is done, where the public forum goes with discussion, is largely driven by artificial intelligence. It has been for a long time. Creating social mores, social norms, what's acceptable, what's unacceptable. Who decides? Well, ultimately, you're going to decide what you believe about all that. My desire for everybody is to seek the truth with all your heart, because it's going to matter for eternity. Where will you spend it and why? To use the Matrix analogy, let's take a look at what is the anomaly. What is the Matrix? Well, the Matrix is a construct all around us. It's deceptive in nature. The anomaly took up flesh and dwelt among us, so to speak. If I were to use that analogy and say that Jesus Christ, also known as Yahweh, Yeshua, the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Creator, took up human flesh and dwelt among us. Now, I've done a broadcast from this exact spot. Used to be called Flat Earth Debate Anyone. The sun came up over here, shot across the water. You can look at it, look at the seasons, the date stamps. If you go to my videos, they're in a more of a chronological category when I've produced them or when I actually reposted them. Some of the videos were originally a Facebook broadcast, a live feed that was converted to a YouTube video. Notice the reflections of the clouds, the symmetry of that. Splitting the middle of the screen, looking far out there, the clouds above, the clouds below. The virtually perfectly level water. I can see the current moving a bit and bringing the water in and up. The gently moving current. Once it reaches high tide, then it'll just go right on back out. Right on the other side of those buildings, right in the middle of the view, is the open ocean. This is North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, with a 6.2 foot tide. This is what the stairs look like when they turn the water off because of freezing. It's a freeze faucet, but it's exposed under the pier, so they do it like that. They turn the water off. It's a seasonal thing. The fog over the top of the water, evidence of the hydrologic cycle, the change of state that water goes through. The evaporation, condensation, and precipitation ultimately will occur somewhere. It's happening right now. There's less than a mile-an-hour breeze coming out of the northeast. The Prince Resort is right in the middle of the view, with the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier right in front of it. I will very likely take us back out there to show you the contrast, how it looks. This is sea level. The sea level on the edge here continually changes because of tidal activity. So I'm going to zoom in on the bird making some waves on the mirror right in front of us. I don't need to get in a rocket to see the shape of the Earth. You go up high enough, and apparently, according to what the Bible proclaims, we've got a firmament that's up above the Earth, separating the waters above from these waters below. Can't have a pressurized atmosphere without a container. The container is the firmament on the upper end. The lower end is the shape of the container that the water sits in, this water down here. That's part of the empirical evidence. It's part of the construct, part of the reality of the world we live in, with a lot of mystery. Who's behind all this deception? Well, I believe ultimately Satan and all the deceived individuals that, by irony and paradox, do not know they're deceived. Okay, so to give you a point of orientation, you can see where the sun is appearing right now, and I'll zoom in on that a bit. You can see where it showed up yesterday, if you care to, from a different vantage point, that of the ocean front, just on the other side of those buildings. The truth is not afraid of investigation. It's not popular. The truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular, and it's not an opinion. It is the reality of the world that we live in. With a lot of mystery, one of those mysteries to me has been solved. That is that I was an atheist, used to believe that God was a fabrication, the Creator was a fabrication of some optimistic social construct creators, writing a book to tell us to behave so they don't have to worry about hooligans taking their stuff, or murderers or thieves. Well, welcome to reality. There's murderers, thieves, abusers that are taking what isn't rightfully theirs. That ultimately got Satan and a third of the angels kicked out of heaven. He was usurping. He wanted to be as God, not like him. He wanted to be in control of everything. How about that? So what is the new temple that Satan is enthroning himself in? Well, all of humanity that decides they don't want God's supervision, His commandments, His commands. They want to do their own thing. Oh well, I wouldn't recommend that. I tried that, didn't work. So I'm a new creature in Christ. There's a new sheriff in town. That's right, he changed me. He gave me a new operating system, to use computer vernacular. Do I create the world around me? Well, not exactly. However, the choices that I make are based on what I believe to actually be true, and then to act congruently and appropriately to do what I believe I should. I needed the power to do that. I was absent of that power. Did not have it, could not get it done. That's when I had a crisis of conscience. I wanted to know, why in the heck is that? Why am I doing stuff I don't believe I should be doing? Lack of power. I needed more power. And that's what happened. I was given a new nature, given a power that I previously was not born with. That's why I do this. I want people to know, if you're struggling like I was, doing what I shouldn't be doing, by my own recognition of that. Because I came to believe that the Bible was true. Remember, I was an atheist. I thought this God creation, this believing in God, was a fantasy. So for those of you who are going to school me on how Christianity is another mechanism of control, I would say, well, to a certain extent that's true. However, it's the truth. It's the reality. It's unpopular with a lot of people. They want to do their own thing. Oh well, the God of their life is the one reflecting back in the mirror. They're calling their own shots, doing what they want to do, just like I was. And then I wanted to know, hey, is this real? Am I going to end up in hell if I keep on doing the stuff I know I shouldn't be doing, or believe I shouldn't be doing? Well, ultimately I would have, if it weren't for the divine intervention. The Creator took up residence in me. Job 37 proclaims that the sun is in the midst of the clouds. That's how it appears. People can argue about, oh, it's just an optical illusion. Well, for those people, I would simply say as well, do you believe you live on a spinning water ball hurling through space? Do you believe in the space program? The space NASA and SpaceX and Blue Origin are concerned with is between your ears, and the collective consciousness of humanity that it is deceiving. Artificial intelligence is extremely deceptive. There's the truth, and then there's everything else. How will you recognize it when it's right in front of you? The reality of the world that we live in. It's pretty spectacular to see how still this is. There would be no level anywhere on a spinning water ball hurling through space. A bubble level wouldn't be able to keep the bubble in the middle. For all of you who are going to school me on, I don't understand theoretical physics, I would simply say, I do enough to know that it's deceptive. Superposition, Schrodinger's cat, the double slit experiment, all that modern gobbledygook that doesn't reflect reality, I'm just calling it out. I'm saying it's deception, it's science fiction, it's a religion based on a desire to kick God out of the equation, the actual Creator. So it's very possible that my channel will be taken down. The new criteria for a channel's viability is it commercially viable for YouTube to keep a channel up? Are they making money on it? Do they find it profitable? I want to zoom in on some gentle little whirling of the evaporation. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? That depends. Depends on temperature. That variant drives the water cycle of the world. Volume and density changes with temperature. That is the reality of it. So Thanksgiving's coming up Thursday. How about that? I'll be driving separate. Been doing it for years. And you could feel sorry for me and all the other outcasts if you want to. Don't need to. I don't feel sorry for myself. I don't expect anybody else should feel sorry for me. I know where I'm going to spend eternity. Where will you? Who are you? I don't know. This type of me addressing potentially humanity, anybody who will come across my channel, come across this broadcast, I can speak to everybody and say, okay, so your situation, where you are right now, where do you believe you're going to spend eternity, and what is the truth about that? Is God a bit of science fiction, the creator? Did he speak this world into existence? Did we really have a great flood that covered over the tops of all the mountains? So we're at sea level here. Those buildings are less than 300 feet tall, probably about 220 or 200 feet tall, about. Mountains that are over 5.5 miles tall, Mount Everest, documented. Is that real? Is that true? How would I know? How could I tell? For sure. I've been right at sea level here, and the numbers I got were over 260 feet above sea level and 10 feet below sea level. They can't both be right. They could both be wrong. So what is the truth about all that? The flood that Noah prepared for had 3 water sources. The floodgates of heaven opened up, big floodgates, lots of water coming in and air going out. That just works better for a flow rate. And then we had the fountains of the deep opening up as well, further pressurizing the atmosphere. And then we had it rain. What is the evidence of that? Well, the archaeological evidence of the Ark, as discovered by Ron Wyatt in the mountains of Ararat. It's on my channel. You can look it up. You can research it. If we were truly spinning 1,038 miles an hour at the equator, do you think it would look like this? Do you think we could have less than a couple mile an hour breeze and then maybe later on have a different mile per hour breeze in whatever direction? I don't think so. I'm asking people to apply your critical thinking and take a look at the world around you and see if it looks at all possible to be spinning, wobbling, and gyrating. I don't think so. Does that look possible? The upside down world looks pretty weird when it's a mirror appearance like that. I've called them memes when a meme isn't enough. Let there be memes. You can hashtag it. That's one of the ways to find content on my channel. hashtag it. I could organize it a little bit more, and will. If you hashtag Robert Forsch, you bring that up, what you'll find is a variety of content and a variety of social media platforms that I'm on now, that I may be on. If you're somebody watching this that could put me on mainstream media, I'd be all about it. Bring it on. Artificial intelligence, I'll talk directly to you. This isn't going to end well for you anyway. And to put you on notice, your time is limited. Business media moguls, those that have owned and created tech companies, probably uploaded themselves to the cloud, the internet cloud. That works for a while there's electricity. What's going to happen when God creates a new heaven and a new earth and decides to not include artificial intelligence? There's a fire that's coming. We had the rainbow to show that God wasn't going to flood the earth again. He tells us what's going to happen. There's going to be a fire that's going to consume even the elements. So if you apply electricity with the process of electrolysis, it'll shatter the bond between oxygen and hydrogen. You have combustion. HHO is the gas that's put off, splitting the bond between oxygen and hydrogen, recombining it at the tip of the torch, and you can cut steel, melt rock, run a vehicle on it. The byproduct of that is moisture, not the toxic combustion that it would otherwise be with different gases. Right now I'm gonna zoom in on the school bus, right on schedule, on its way to an indoctrination center, presenting to the young minds on board that bus what the system wants them to believe about the world we live in. It's happening all over this world. And then we've got the internet that is selectively presenting the truth to some and hiding it from others. I don't know why my broadcast apparently cut out. Not sure what happened with that. It says I'm live once again. I'm going to stay right here for this time. There's only a few minutes left on this recording, and I'm going to keep it on. The reason being is because you've seen the ocean. You can go and see it again if you want to on my channel. It's just on the other side of the buildings there. I encourage everybody to seek the truth with all your heart because, well, it matters for eternity. What I may do, and I think I probably will, is keep the live YouTube going, and then take us out to the ocean with another complete P1000 recording. So like yesterday, there were 3 recordings up. A Facebook that was converted to a YouTube, and then 2 P1000 recordings. I also have time-lapse video of the beauty and majesty of creation that other talented producers have created and put out from all over the world. Norway, Iceland, Antarctica. Time Storm Films has done it. Nature Relaxation Video does it. If you don't want the watermarks on there or their advertisements, about $8 a month or $80 a year, we'll get it free of the ads. However, I can't share those videos as far as I know. I mean, if I share them, they'll still be on yours. But what I do is I add videos to my liked videos playlist. There's over 3,700 videos on there, food for thought. Like I mentioned in my Facebook broadcast, I don't agree with everything that everybody says on those videos. Yeah, it looks, I don't know if I cut out again or not. Looks like I might have. I don't know why it's doing that. We respire and perspire. The earth is evaporating the water off of it. Temperature differentials create the condensation and precipitation that powers the electrical grid with hydroelectric power. And then we've got steam created with coal, natural gas, oil. All of that actually runs the power grid as well. I think I might be running on a low power mode that might be interrupting my video. I'm going to hopefully change that right now. So what I did is I went to my settings and I put on I took off my low power mode. Hunting season is what's going on there. The gunshots. So part of the discourse that I'm wanting people to consider as we interact with others is, how do we do that? How do we express our feelings, express what we believe to be true without necessarily being obnoxious and alienating those we want to reach out to? It's a challenge. I'm working on it. It's tough. It's hard to listen to people that are deceived telling me that I'm deceived. I'm sure many of you know what that's like. It's part of the reality. It's just the way it is. Their world view is being challenged and being disrupted. They don't like it. Cognitive dissonance causes people to reject information that's opposite of what they believe true to be. It's been going on for a long time. How will you recognize the truth when it's right in front of you? The reality of your situation. Do you have enough power to do what you believe you should do? Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahweh, the living Word, is the way, the truth, and the life. Do you know Him?